Hello everyone, this is Jason from Scope Training. This is step 3 and 4 in our series of effective change management. Step 3, we need to create a vision for change. We need to communicate the vision. Let me tell you, there are two wrong views about change. Number one, that change is risky and is disruptive. How many times have we heard that before? And number two, that change is something that leaders can delegate like any other activities like project management and risk. You know what the truth is, guys? The truth is that change management is most successful when, as a result of external factors, there is a shared sense of urgency to deliver tangible changes throughout the organization. This could be due to legislation changes, government, or even things that our competitors are doing. Let me give you two case studies to bear this out. The first one is Shell. In 2004, Shell was facing an oil reserve crisis. Their share price was threatened. So they appointed a new group chairman, Mr. Van der Veer. And what he did was that in order to survive, he believed that Shell had to transform itself and its structure and all its processes. So he identified a global standardized processes, and if introduced, would impact more than 80 Shell operating units. What do you think happened? Of course, there was a lot of resistance. So in order to be successful, everyone had to follow these new changes because it was the future of Shell that was at stake. So how did he gain the adoption from everyone involved in this change process? Well, they called this Shell Downstream 1. That was the change management program that they want to implement. And the transformation needed determination from each of those 80 Shell operating units. Those leading the chain had to make sure that everyone in all their markets globally knew what was required and understand the reason why the change needed to be in place. So remember, guys, that the key to Shell's successful change management implementation was the senior management, all the way from the very top, had to model the behavior expected of the employees below. So before they implement something, they would discuss with the people that were impacted by these changes and the risks and potential problems that could arise before any real change was even delivered to that operating unit. And this was seen as communication at its best because they took away the concerns and addressed the barriers. Now, there's always a danger that we always delegate to people down below when the senior management should be taking the leadership role in implementing and modeling the behavior. And this is one of the key in Shell's case. So you've got to believe in what the changes that you're championing and not leave it to just employees to take up the slack. So it was successful, and Shell is in a better position than ever before since that 2004 crisis. The second case study I want to let you know about the vision is a direct line group. Direct line group, after the 2008 global financial crisis, was part of the RBS group. The RBS group was told by the government, in order to bail them out and receive government funding, they had to remove the insurance business. So in 2008, it took 18 months to set up, and RBS group, the insurance arm, was set up as a standalone and it called Direct Line Group. In 2012, it was successfully a viable business, and it turned out to be the biggest and most successful London stock market listing, all because they implemented a change management process because it had to, it was forced to. Let me just end with a quote from Brian Robertson, who was a former director of lean transformation at Direct Group. He says, and I quote, "Trust also comes from demonstrating that you listen and will take action." They created a website where people can post anything they want about the organization. Nothing was off limits. People began to talk about what they like in the organization and what annoys them, and they make sure that they did something about it. That's what it takes to earn trust and to keep it. Alright guys, thanks very much for listening to this video for step 3, create a vision for change, step 4, communicate the vision, and I'll talk to you very shortly in a future video about step 5 and 6. Thank you. Cheers.